Hello everyone and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for July 18th to the 25th, 2025. If you're new here, you are most welcome. And if you are returning, thank you for adding your energy to mine as we co-create this reading of the week together. Let's pull in something good for us, shall we? I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths with me. Sinking our breath across time and space. And with that exhale, I invite you to imagine a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going down deep into Mother Earth and grounding you here and now in this present moment. Knowing that this tree root is not only anchoring you and allowing you to be fully present in your body at this time, but it is also a conduit through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with all of your children about to do the reading of the week for July 18th to the 25th, 2025. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to be present and facilitate this exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, and that we cover all that is in our personal and our collective heart and mind at this time, to our satisfaction in this window that we have together here today. I'd like to acknowledge the overlighting angel of Heart's Home for holding us in a good way, and I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us across time and space, creating a sacred container of clarity, of peace, of wisdom, of insight, of distinctions, of evolution, of healing and transformation. Whatever is uppermost for us each in our hearts may be held here in a good way. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions is welcome to go now. Shall we? Okay, here we go. What do we need to do, to know, to be, to become, to hold this week? For our personal and our collective highest and greatest good, please. What is most helpful for us to know, Creator? For July 18th to the 25th, 2025. Okay. We're starting with the card of discipline. And no, I didn't plan this. It is color coordinated though. Hope you appreciate that. We're starting with the card of discipline. And discipline is a wand, and I would encourage you to think of it like the discipline of an art form. That when we have a discipline, we practice regularly to become more proficient, and we have an intention behind our practicing, whether that's a dramatic performance, or a performance of music, or dance, or an art show. I find an art show is usually a really good way of illustrating the energy of discipline. We have a show, we have a date for it, we have a venue where that's going to happen, we know how many walls we need to cover, we have a medium, we have a theme, we have sizes of the paintings, we know we have to have it done by a certain time. So that becomes the discipline, the container into which our creativity is focused. And this is important. It's in our past position, but it's information from our past that is relevant to our present and to our future. So this energy of the discipline, of creating a sacred container for our practice, for our gifts, what it is that we're bringing to the world, we need to have this in place in order to show up in a bigger way. So we've done this in the past. We do know what it's like. We have achieved it. We're maybe learning how to do it better, or in a bigger way, or something a little more relevant to where we are right now. But this energy of the discipline, of a practice, of holding space, of being intentional about that, especially on the creative level, is important now. The present card, we have the card of disappointment. And this card, being a heart, has to do with emotions. And in this card, we have this individual here has just made this young lady an offer, and she likes him very much. And she's sorry to have to disappoint him, but she can't say yes, because if she says yes, she's going against her own heart. She can't please him and disappoint herself. She has to stay true to her own heart. And so 3 of the hearts are broken, but 2 are full, which means that there's still hope. There's still more life. There's still more love. It's not done. It's just disappointing, and it's hard in this moment. And this is the card of the present right now, the sort of quality of things not maybe being this lovely offer that we've had, or something has come our way and it isn't quite what we want. And so being aware of that, it's important for us to acknowledge and honor ourselves. We have to go with what works for us. We have to listen to ourselves and our hearts, because this is our life. It's our one precious life. And if we do something to please another, or we're not clear within ourselves, then it's going to lead to disappointment for everyone. We cannot serve if we are not congruent with ourselves and our heart and our highest calling. If we are not paying attention, we lose our clarity, our focus, our direction. If we sell ourselves out, or if we sell out for the good of somebody else, then we are compromising our own value and our own virtue and our own understanding and self-awareness. We're essentially turning that knob down on our yes. Unless our yes is lined up with somebody else's, then that's fun, that's terrific, that's exciting, that's kind of what we want, and we all kind of get amplified and expand together. But if our yes is not their yes, the offering that they make us is not authentic and congruent for our hearts, we have to say no. We have to go towards what is going to line us up with our heart. So, and I think it's funny, I was just thinking on what would be a context where this might need to be mitigated. Well, as a parent, you can't just walk away from your children. We have a responsibility. We're holding space for them. And so we need to be able to answer to them and their yes. And it's a temporary time, but it's understanding that we hold that sacred space of a parent, of a caregiver, of someone who's holding space for another. And there's ways of doing that where we can still honor ourselves and we can still keep the yes alive. But it might take a little bit of creativity and discipline. Okay, so this is the present environment, this energy of disappointment, understanding that even if we have to say no to something right now, it doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean it's done. There are still 2 hearts here. It means there's still possibility, but we have to love ourselves enough to line up with our truth, with our yes, with our congruity, so that we can be the best expressed version of ourselves that we can be. Otherwise, we're turning the dial down on our yes, we're turning the dial down on our life force, and we lose touch with who we are. And that's not what we came to do. The Tower, the near future, major arcana, key 16. So we're moving towards Tower energy. And we've seen the Tower over the past 5 years. We've been doing these readings, and the Tower is struck by the lightning of truth, and it's brought to its foundations because it is no longer congruent. It is no longer relevant. Anything that is out of congruence, anything that is out of integrity is being brought to its foundations now. This is a big and hard lesson for those of us who are clinging to the past, those of us who are clinging to the shore, wanting those reassurances, wanting the certainty. We have to learn to push off from the shore and get into the middle of the river and ride the river, not hang out by the shore where it's getting harder and harder to hold on and we're getting biffed by everything that's coming downstream, and it's a hard ride. If we get out into the middle with our people, things flow. We flow with the river rather than resisting it and pushing against it. This is the quality of the Tower card. If we are not in integrity, if we are not creating a disciplined space for our yes, if we're not showing up every day and saying yes to our yes, however minute, we're leading to disappointment for ourselves. And we can't please anybody else by compromising ourselves. It's very, very, very important that we understand that this is the lesson that's up right now. Because if we don't pay attention, the cosmic 2x4 will come and we will get the message eventually by things being really hard and things smacking us upside the head until we get it. So it's important to pay attention, because this cosmic 2x4 is there for us if we are not lining up with our truth, our authentic self, our highest expression. Foundation card. Why we're having the reading this week? Victory. The 6 of Wands. This is such a jubilant card. We have this rider who's leaping over the flames on their horse, and they are full of vitality and life. And this is what happens when we move towards our yes. We are full of the life of the universe flowing through us out into the world. We are on fire. We are joyful. We are jubilant. We are on purpose. It's very fulfilling, very satisfying, very, very, very nourishing. That's the energy of the yes, and this card of victory, which is the foundation card. This is just this reminder that everything that we want is there on the yes. Everything that we want is where life is calling us to. All those shiny things are shiny because that's where life wants us. It's what we agreed to do. It's what we lined up. It's part of our picture. You know, we signed up to be an artist, and so we're going to be compelled by art stores and paints and art galleries and pieces of art. It's going to be part of our experience. We have to say yes to our yes. It's the foundation. Why we're having the reading this week. If we're not paying attention to our yes, then cosmic 2x4. It's not going to go well for us. And we can't please someone else if we are not pleasing our heart. Very soon we will come to resent them. We'll resent ourselves. We lose our own connection to our wisdom and our insight. And we have a miserable experience. It's very, very clear. The message is pretty strong this week. So we need to practice discipline. We need to have a safe container for our yes. We need to say yes every day to our yes. Some small way. Keep moving that ball up the field, whatever it is. Take 5 minutes for your thing that you love, that brings you to joy. Make sure that you're giving it time every day. And if others are making you offers that you appreciate them, but you can't say yes because it goes against you, that's what this card is reminding you. Go towards your yes. Once again, you can't please anyone else if you're compromising yourself. It just doesn't work. Others are responsible for their happiness and their well-being, and we are each responsible for our own. So remember that this week. The Tower, things falling apart if we don't stay in integrity. Our lives have to be authentic and congruent. They have to be built solidly from the ground up, from the foundation up. And if they are not, they will be knocked to their foundations, is essentially what the Tower card is all about. The lightning of truth strikes the tower and brings it to its foundation so that it can be rebuilt congruently this time. And it may be that we have a tower moment many times in our lives. Something that we thought was for forever is no longer there. It's no longer the case. It's no longer relevant to who we have become. And so if we're moving with our yes, if we're moving with our life, it's not likely that this is going to catch us unaware and we're going to get knocked down. We'll be doing it with intention and consciousness and deliberation. That's the difference between living with purpose and consciousness, being on our path, versus being, following somebody else's idea of what we should be doing, the outside in, living from the outside in rather than the inside out. And then we get caught unawares and that cosmic 2x4 hits us and we're like, whoa, wait a second. Where did that come in? Why? Why me? Well, we're not doing what we need to be doing. We're not connected where we need to be connected. So let's pay attention to that this week so we don't need to have a cosmic 2x4. And back to the foundation card, this jubilant, happy, victorious card of yes to my yes. Yes to moving my life forward. Yes to moving towards the things that light me up, because that's where life wants me. That's where I want to be. It's where everything and everybody that is lined up with my offering, my highest service, that's where it all is. We need to go towards our yes every day, even if it's just in a small way. Give yourself a little dose of your yes. Say yes to your yes. That's showing yourself that you're trustable. We need to show ourselves. We need to ally with ourselves, and that's our masculine saying yes to our feminine. I'm doing it. I'm moving the ball up the field. We're moving in the right direction, and that builds trust within. And when we build trust within, we are far more solid in our relationship, not only with ourselves, but with everybody else in the world, because we're clean and clear and congruent within. So, what an interesting reading. I hope this is of service to you, and it's going to be interesting to consider this for the week ahead. Staying lined up with our truth, staying lined up with our yes, because that's where the energy is, that's where the vitality comes from, creating containers that support us in this so that we don't need to go through the cosmic 2x4. We become aware when we're on our conscious path and we're deliberate, we know when we need to tweak something. It becomes apparent. And as we do that life journey, we no longer need to have cosmic 2x4s because we're on, we're awake, we're deliberate, we're conscious, we're walking the path with heart and awareness, mindfully. And so we flow rather than resist. And life is in a completely different experience and category at that point. So let's pull our card to grow on. Okay, Creator. That is very, very, very interesting. Very strong message. Staying lined up with our yes. Not worrying about disappointing others, but staying congruent. Again, we are each responsible for our happiness. We're each responsible for our thriving. And it's an inside job, inside to out. So what is it that we need to know this week, Creator? How do we summarize this? How do we integrate this information? What can we carry with us in our hearts as we move forward from this point with these awarenesses so that we can be at our best this week? Showing ourselves how trustable we are, how on our path we are. Saying yes to our yes in small ways every day in service to more life and higher unfolding. What is our card to grow on, please? And we have the card of balance. So this is a lovely card. You see the colors are very harmonious and very balanced. And swords are about ideas and action. And so this card is saying, like, don't go too far in any direction. Don't throw yourself in the deep end. Don't rip the Band-Aid off. You don't need to do anything drastic. Stay centered, stay present, stay grounded. Take the time that you need to come home to yourself, because that's where your truth is. That's where the yes is. That's where the awareness is. That's where the mindfulness is. It's all within us. And when we tune to that and we have a balanced state, life is a completely different experience than a random, chaotic experience of things happening at us. We understand then that we are co-creator with the universe and things flow in a beautiful, harmonious way. And if you reflect on your life, I'm very sure you can come up with many examples of where you've been in your yes, in your flow, in your balance, and things have just gone swimmingly, beautifully, harmoniously. So this card to grow on this week is just stay balanced. Take this information in from the reading this week, but do what you need to do to stay balanced. This is your life. You don't have to punish yourself into submission, right? We don't have to make it harder on ourselves. We can be kind to ourselves. If we're kind to ourselves as we do our journey, the journey is far more pleasant. We can be happier and more relaxed and more at ease, and that flows very differently than if we're beating ourselves up and making life hard. So this card of balance this week, it's a lovely balance between the pinks and the blues, just coming back to ourselves in harmony and balance. That discipline card again at the beginning, creating containers that hold us in beautiful ways so we are showing up for ourselves, for our yes, in service to more life. That's the brilliant wisdom of life. So, beautiful structures to hold us in balance. You see there are structures here. I'm not just making it up. Okay, well, hopefully that was in service to your highest and greatest good this week. I know it's in service to mine. I invite you to close your eyes and let's take a nice deep breath and we'll close this reading for this week. The breath, as always, bringing us home to ourselves in body, mind, heart, and spirit. Pulling the mind back from wherever it's roaming, whatever it's up to, so that it can integrate with the body, with the heart, with the spirit. So we are whole, we are balanced. We have a beautiful container within from which we can spill out into the world in appropriate ways, bringing our gifts and service to more love and light. Creator, this is your daughter Titania. I want to thank you for once again being here to do these readings with all those who are present now and in the future. I want to thank all those who helped to hold this space this week. I want to thank those who are here in human form, bumping about in this reality, figuring it out, discovering their yes and moving towards their yes. And I want to thank all those who are holding space for us on the other side, in support of our highest and greatest good, calling us to our good, ready and willing and waiting for us to ask for their help and support. I want to thank all those who love us on this side and that side. I want to thank the Spirit of Heart's Home for holding me in a good way, grounding me and helping me to do these readings in a consistent manner. My container, my discipline. And I want to thank the 4 archangels and the overlighting angel of communication for all your love and your support. This reading is at an end for this week, and so it is. Thank you for being here and for adding your energy to mine and for helping make this reading possible. If you would like your very own reading, the information is below this video. I am available for personal readings, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I don't know what difference it makes, but apparently it does make a difference. And if you have any comments, apparently that also helps this video to go out maybe to a slightly wider audience. I really haven't researched it very much, but you're here and that's the important thing. And if you feel that this would be of service to anyone, please do feel free to share. Much love and light. I look forward to seeing you again next Friday, and I wish you well with your sacred discipline, staying lined up with your truth, with your yes, even if it means disappointing others, living from your inside out, so that there are no needs for cosmic 2x4s, and living into your victorious experience, that joyful, jubilant expression of your highest and greatest good. Thank you for being you. I'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.